Let's get on the Zoom right now. I do have Professor Anthony Salah joining me for that conversation. Hi, Prof. Salah. Thank you for your time. So we noticed that the grouping is called Concerned University Teachers. One would argue that there is already an association of university teachers, UTAG, that you could have channeled your concern through. So why this grouping?
Oh, well, it's just couple of people decided that we need to do that because UTAG, you have to go through a whole lot of process. And, you know, the president said we should be citizens and not spectators. So this is a citizenship issue. And UTAG is there to do things in the interest of the university committee or all the lecturers, whether it comes to negotiations for salary and other things. So this is something that we don't think is necessary to go through UTAG.
So it's not the situation that you have taken this to UTAG and had some sort of opposition or challenges, just to clear that.
No.
Okay.
I'm not aware of that this has gone to UTAG. I'm not aware of that.
All right. Oh, so why have you and your colleagues decided to add your voices to this conversation about the register, which is becoming very controversial? Are you convinced that the EC will change its posture?
Oh, well, whether EC changes its posture or not is not necessarily the issue, but then we also wanted to know that there are university lecturers, there are citizens who are not really in tune or in line or follow her arguments as to why you should have a new register, because it's totally unnecessary, it's totally not needed, waste of resources. We used the same register in 2012. We used the same register in 2016. And then the same register, we had our president elected, I believe, 1.5 million votes difference and so on. We used the same register to create the new regions. And then even the recent district elections. So what's the big deal there? Americans say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So why this kind of bellicose and belligerent attitude that she wants to do it, she wants to do it? Why is in that? And when we know after elections, we want to be sure that the one who has won and the one who has been defeated, they should all accept the outcome. But if it is in a way where one party thinks that, oh, okay, the cards are decked against him, and then we've noticed elections have brought problems to our continent, whether it's Kenya, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and other places. And we feel that, hey, we should lend our voices to that because, you know, for evil to triumph, I'm not saying what she's doing is evil, but for evil to triumph is for good men to sit down and do nothing about it. Okay. And we don't want to get up one day and think that, oh, okay, we should have said something. So we've said it now. So it's on record.
So you are against the compilation of the new voters register. Right now, a while ago, my colleague in Parliament, our parliamentary affairs correspondent, just reported that a voting process has ended. And it has the CI that was laid before Parliament and asking that the NHIA or the NHIS, etc., rather that the NIA, the Ghana card and passport are the requirements to be registered in this process, has been approved. Essentially, the EC can go forward with the process.
One may ask, I believe we had, is it 12 votes to 9? If I'm
yes, that's
correct?
what they said at the press conference.
Yeah, so which means we are voting along party lines, and that's not healthy for us as a country, okay? It's not healthy. Why are all the MPP parliamentarians voting 12 and all the NDC people voting 9? So that's not healthy for us as a democracy.
Speaking of...
So the thing is, what we have to do is that why new register? And if you're going to spend another $140 million, and with even House of Chiefs, Office of the Imam, Christian Council, other people, they have also added their voices of caution. So if all these citizen groupings are saying that, okay, take it slowly or let's go back and so on, why is the majority pushing it? Is it that because you are in the majority, whatever you want to get it done? No.
Prof, talking about
the majority.
Talking about party lines, voting along party lines, are you not concerned that this group that has come out to speak will be tagged will be given a political tag, given that, for example, Professor Joshua Alabi is a part of this group. He is indeed a former rector, rector of the University of Professional Studies, but he's also contested in the NDC elections. Aren't you concerned that as university lecturers you'll be roped into the politics?
Oh, well, sure. People may rope us into the politics, but then we are not politicians. I have not run for any office. There are other people who have never even run for any office or held any political position. But even that, okay, if you look at 12 verses 9, then there is something, because previously when we were having voters, there were consultations, inter-party consultations, NDC, NPP, CPP, and what do you have? But this time we are not having that. So it's like the leading party or the government which appointed the EC, and the EC is pushing something down our throats. And we don't think that is fair. I mean, we know if we have the present government won the elections and had all these parliamentarians. So what is wrong with this voters register? All of a sudden, we woke up one morning and we realized that there's a problem with this voters register and we need to fix it. But we've been using it over the years and nobody has complained about it.
Okay.
Now you're going to insist that if even if you are going to use, first of all, we have 6 months to the election, and we have Prof,
just to interrupt you briefly, I was going to come to the fact that, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was going to come to you with the fact that, and I'm wrapping up with you, we have barely 6 months to the election. Why are university lecturers like yourself speaking up now?
Well, you know, we had a national crisis to deal with coronavirus, which if you look at what has happened, it has killed so many people in the Western society and so on. So we're concerned that, okay, efforts should be geared towards solving that problem, the morbidity and mortality associated with it, and the public health issues. So it's not that we've come back. The president lifted 31st, I believe on 31st May, that we should go back to church, go back to school and other things. So this issue has come back to the fore. Okay. And that's why we are speaking against it now.
How do you respond? How do you respond to people who say that this group, looking at the membership, could be aligned to the opposition NDC, and that's why you're taking the stance that the NDC has long held?
No, not necessarily. People have a right to their own views, etc. But sometimes when you subject your views to scientific inquiry or to other inquiries, you may realize that it's not consistent, or it may not necessarily be the truth. Of course, people have rights to their views, but the other thing, the most important thing is that we believe that we've been using this for over a period of time, and that we've used it for all other elections where the president has won or other people have been elected. So going back now, and at this time where we even have a pandemic we are addressing, people are going to start queuing to go and vote and so on and so forth. It's important that we speak against it, and that's what we are doing.
So
and we are not the only people.
Right.
The House of Chiefs have spoken against it. Chief Imam's office, I think they've also issued a statement, Christian Council, and major civil societies like IDD and so on. So we are not the first to come out. Others have spoken about it, and it's important Mrs. Jimensa should listen to voices of reason and not be bellicose and belligerent and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do because I have the power now, and we are in the majority, and we don't need tyranny of the majority. It doesn't help in a way. Democracy means let's sit down, let's negotiate, let's talk about things before we move on. We just don't say, because I'm the leader or I belong to the majority party, I have the vote, so let's do it. Doesn't help.
They're not listening, or they're not changing their minds. The EC, they've gone ahead. Now the CI has been approved. There's only one substantive case at the moment in court, which has to do with addition of the voters register as a part of the re-registration process, which means the registration process is going to go ahead anyway. What next will a group like you do?
Well, when we reach that bridge, we'll cross it.
Thank you, Prof, for your time this afternoon.